Hey, Jordana and Jared. Love the podcast. I never miss an episode. Discovered the Betches at a bookstore. After I bought, I had a nice time and other lies. Huge fan of all your podcasts. Look at that.
Thank you. Yeah, she's already read the book.
That's a P1 they call them in the radio business.
Love it.
They like your stuff. So my question is about girls who are into sports. I've been a huge sports fan, mostly hockey, my entire life, and I've even devoted my education and soon-to-be career to it. I went to school for sports business. I've worked for various teams, and I'm currently completing my master's degree in sports psychology. When I was in high school, people always said to me that guys would dig me since I was so into sports. However, with most guys I've dated, this hasn't been the case. Most of my exes either weren't into sports, or I found myself unable to really be my authentic sports-loving self with them. I've gone on dates with many guys who share my same passion, yet I find when we really get into deep conversations about certain players or trades, they act like they're not interested anymore or act butthurt because I sometimes seem to know more than them. I read a lot of books about my favorite players and teams and always love to share the knowledge with guys who are familiar with them, yet many times I feel like I have to act like I don't know a lot about sports and hide my passion. I thought the guys would be into a girl who genuinely enjoys watching a game. Jared, I'd love your 2 cents on my struggle to find a guy who embraces my sports-loving self. Thanks, guys.
This girl loves her some sports.
She's talking trades?
I don't even know what that means.
Well.
Okay. Full disclosure, I don't follow sports. I once confused the NCAA with the NAACP.
Wow, that is a big screw-up.
I am very bad at sports. I don't know anything about them. So I'm gonna let you start with this one.
What I'll say is I'm a sports fan, but I'm like, it's not my whole life. I'm interested in all sports, like March Madness is happening right now.
Right.
I keep an eye on it, but I don't really know. I'm not really a fan of any of the teams. I went to Penn State. I like Penn State football. I'm from Boston. I like all the Boston teams. Last night, I went to the Knicks game.
That's
looked
awesome.
It was floor seats, baby. Floor seats.
Just in case you guys were wondering if Jared was better than you or not.
I'm better today.
Yeah, now you know.
But what I'll say to this is that you can't just be sports girl. If I went on a date with someone and they wanted to talk trades, I don't care how into the Red Sox I am.
That's not why you're there.
That's not why I'm there.
Right, yeah.
And listen, people are going to like the whole of you, they're not there for the sports. And if somebody is there for the sports, that you have to understand, like, you guys have to have a relationship beyond that. People can like things about you for the things you like.
Right. I think for guys who like, I think the appeal for a lot of guys who like sports is like, we'll go to a game, like she'll be like down to go to a game with me, or like or she like, it won't be like upset if I'm watching a game like at her apartment, or if I don't know.
Totally.
Like,
I
don't know if it's that like, she's got like a wealth of sports knowledge, and now I feel like most guys talk to their friends about that shit.
Yeah, and I don't think I would be intimidated. Like I'd just more be like, is this all we're fucking talking about?
Right.
Are we still talking about hockey?
And to me, it kind of sounds like she's like almost like trying to prove like how good how much she knows, and they might be like a little turned off by that.
Well, this is what happens with a lot of female sports fans. They want to out cheer the room to let everyone know that they are a fan and they actually know their stuff.
Right.
And it gets annoying because the person that like claps at the TV really loud. It's like, dude, we get it.
You like
the team. I get it. You're not a bigger fan than me. Maybe you're a bigger fan. Maybe you know more. But I don't need to be like, pushed into the ground with this like with your. I don't need to be dominated. Is really with any knowledge that someone has about something. Like I'm.
Yeah. Even
happy,
if it wasn't that.
Even if it wasn't that. If it could be about anything.
Yeah.
I just think with like the sports thing, it's sometimes like you're so ready to show that like, hey, I get this thing that you're probably into too. That I'm a cool girl. Right? Cool girl. Yeah. It's like, then it's like, hey, we don't have to keep talking about this. Like, I get it. I think I think if you trust that no one will be scared away by your passion for hockey or whatever it may be, is then to understand that can come out in its own way. It doesn't have to be forced to come out. Like, you don't have to say this. It's like your virginity. You don't have to
just
come
be cool.
out. Just be cool about it. Stop pushing.
Right.
And also the idea of going to a game with a girl, like, that's fun. Like, that's fun for sports fan or not sports fan. That's the other thing. A lot of girls who are into sports will think they're better than any other girl because they're into sports. No, you're better than any other girl because I'm with you.
Right. Yeah.
It's not because of the sports thing.
Yeah. And
that wasn't the deal sealer for me.
I feel like, most guys aren't dating so they could find someone they could like talk about their sports passion with.
Added bonus.
Right, yeah.
And it's also just you. That's what you are. Like, and that's why that's a part of the reason we're with you or we're dating you or whatever. I think if you're looking at someone and you're like, well, this guy doesn't know about the trade deadline. I'd be like,
what a fucking loser.
Maybe you're rating guys a little too closely because of the sports thing.
You're projecting.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know. And then, and that being said, I mean, like, if you are truly like you eat, sleep, breathe sports, like it's a huge part of your life, hold out for a guy who like is a huge part of his life and he like loves that about you.
Also,
it's not like that many of those though. I
totally.
think.
And also go to games and meet guys at games.
Yeah.
Like, and like find people in that, like go to a bar and watch the game at a bar with a friend that likes hockey too, and then see who's watching hockey and talk to them. Like that's a shared interest that you guys can talk about, and you can cheer with them. You can watch the game with them. I think this is like guy or girl, anybody that's too into anything and tries to push it on people gets annoying.
Yeah, but if you again like if you're that person and like you can't, that's part of who you are. This what you love is like part of like it's really all consuming. Find someone else who like you're gonna find less guys who like are one have even their lives all consumed. I don't know that many guys who went to school for sports psychology or like enormous fans of like a one particular thing.
Totally. Like if you walked into a guy's room or if I walked into a girl's room and it was just all hockey shit, you know, I'd be like, I'd be like, what? How'd you get into them? Like I would want to know I don't care about a girl's like passion like for the fucking general manager. I want to know what connection that has to her life.
Right, like how did she get into it? Is she like, what was her childhood like?
Is her dad a huge fan? Does her brother love hockey? Like how did you get into it? Like you have to see this in the scheme of your life and instead of just the small thing of just hockey.
It's not about the sports.